We're the three-headed monster again.
Three heads are better than one.
Definitely, especially when one of those heads is our man Bart Reed. How you doing, Bart?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Man, doing good. We're excited for this podcast. Got to talk a little basketball. We've had some
Yeah,
since the last time you were on, it was a lot of negative.
lots
Things
changed.
things were bad, and then we've had some positive, but we've also got some Texas A&M made us think a little bit here. So,
Yep. Thanks for
um,
having me, guys. Always a
yeah,
pleasure to be back.
appreciate you coming back on. So, hey, we'll talk about that. We'll talk a little baseball. The Hogs went 4-0 against Wazoo, right? Don't they go by Wazoo in that
I,
Washington
I
State?
don't.
Yeah, something like
I
that.
don't know. I
Anyway.
don't pay attention.
Anyway, so we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about whatever else. We even talk a little Clint, let's talk a little hockey.
Okay, let's talk hockey.
Let's talk hockey. Okay?
You know what we should do? You know what everybody needs to do? Stop what you're doing.
Everybody,
Like, share, and subscribe.
There you
stop.
go.
And then get your kid basketball lessons with Bart
That's
Reed.
right.
Pure
That's
That's
Joy.
right.
right.
That's right.
Because he is
Hey,
pure.
I don't care if it's a newborn.
That's right.
It's never
That's
too
right.
early to learn the
It's never
crossover.
too early. That's
Never
right.
too
Never
early.
too early.
Teaching a hey, Bart will have him dribbling with that left hand,
Yeah.
or at least out
Yep.
of the left
You
side of his
know,
mouth if he's a newborn.
be the
That's right.
All
be
right,
those
folks.
9-month old shooting a three.
That's right. With perfect form.
Form. Yep.
That's right.
That's right.
All right. Like, share, subscribe, folks. And how about some music? Let's
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Never seen a blind man see? I promise you a change his name. You ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you a change his name. Change his name. My Lord, change his name. Can you hear me now? Church, can you hear me now? Ever seen a broken heart made whole? Ever seen an orphan find a home? Ever seen a weak
That's why I
find
have
a
a
strength? I promise you I'll change his name. Ever seen the sick get healed? Ever seen a mystery revealed? Ever seen a death man raised? I promise you.
What's up, everybody? It's time. It's time. It's time for the Hawg Slop podcast with your boy Bigger T, with my best friend Clint Clark, and with our basketball expert and just all around great guy, Bart Reed. How you doing, Bart?
What's up, fellas? I'm doing great. Thanks for
Bart, it
having
seemed
me.
like
Excited to be back.
you were the good luck charm. You came on the podcast you came on the Hawg Slop podcast, and then they started turning around for the Hogs.
Yep. So it's never as bad as it seems. It's never as great as what you feel like it is. So it's somewhere in between. And this is a talented basketball team, and I think it's interesting how Boogie Flan goes out and stuff starts changing
That's
for
right.
uh, I think a lot of reasons. But yeah, the Hogs are right back in the hunt for NCAA tournament berth.
That's right. Well, before we do our deep dive into that, I want to do something a little different for this podcast. Okay, we're the Hog Slop podcast, and normally we talk hogs, right? And we've even talked some. We talk, everything hogs, and we talk a little NFL every now and then. We've even talked a little in little bit of NBA, just a little bit. We talked some Major League Baseball, just a little, okay. But maybe a first time, Clint, I want to talk some hockey, some NHL hockey.
Do you even know the rules?
No, I have no idea any of the rules. But
Okay.
here's what I do know. Apparently, they had their All Star game this last weekend. Okay, I guess they have it about the same time NBA, and they did it a little different this time, sort of like the NBA did theirs different.
I didn't watch.
And they separated people according to like the nation they're from. Okay, so it was
Okay.
a USA team, a Canada team, and then I think Finland and
Finland.
Sweden or something like that. There's
Yeah.
I think there's like four
Obviously.
teams, something like that.
Yeah.
So, and they were doing it kind of like the NBA did, as far as, they played like a little round robin thing, and then but they're doing it over multiple days, right? Well, Arkansas was going to play Canada, and a lot of Canada fans were talking some smack before the game. Okay, there's lots of videos out there of like man on the street interviews, and I think it was happening in Canada. Okay, so it's happening in Canada. There's a lot of trash talk,
I mean, yeah.
all that stuff. Okay, and there was like, we're going to take America, send them back down across the border. We don't need them. Okay, all this different stuff. Well, then before the game or match or whatever you call a hockey game or whatever, they, because we're the sports experts, and that's what you get with this podcast.
Yeah, they have
three
they don't even have a
Arkansas
ball.
guys talking hockey. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, we got ice on the roads right now. Okay,
So
we might can play some hockey.
They hit the shuttlecock with the hockey sticks. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, okay. So before they sing the American national anthem, and the Canada fans boo
No.
the American national anthem. Okay. So how does America retaliate? Within the first 9 seconds, that's right, folks, 9 seconds, there were 3 fights. American players went after Canadian players.
Are you serious?
Yes. And 2 of them, I don't know their names, okay, because like me and Clint would play the name game with hockey, and we would get Mario Lemieux and Gretzky, and that was it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so but 2 of the guys from America that started the fights and got it put in the penalty box together were brothers. So within the first 9 seconds, these 2 brothers were in the penalty box together.
Oh my gosh.
So, guys, does that make you want to watch a little hockey?
It does.
I've said it before. I've been to every major sporting event. Been to baseball, NFL game. I've been, everything. NBA.
Mm.
Nothing it beats to watch live hockey.
Oh yeah.
I went to a Carolina Hurricanes game back when I lived in Raleigh, and I watched how they played the Buffalo Sabres, I think. And I could care less about hockey, and it was an amazing experience live. It really was. And plus, the hockey players married to Carrie Underwood.
I've actually seen the Hurricanes play against the Dallas Stars, and it was the year the Dallas Stars won the Stanley Cup. So they were having a great season. So the fans in Dallas were going nuts. So you had that going. I still don't know the rules. I mean, when it goes in that net at the end, apparently that's a good thing. Okay. But it was, it was great. Bart, have you been to a hockey game before?
Yeah. So my wife's from Missouri, so she's a big Blues fan. So
okay.
Yep. And before that, I went to a couple of minor league hockey games. In fact, the first year at UALR, we were in Alltel, and Alltel had the hockey team.
Yeah.
Because I can't even remember.
The River Cats?
River Blades.
River Blades.
River Blades.
Yeah.
But you would go in Alltel, and if it was empty, it was a nightmare, because you would go in there and you would stretch on the floor, and they just put the basketball court on top of the ice.
Oh yeah.
So it's freezing cold.
Oh man.
I mean, freezing cold.
Oh yeah, I bet.
So I'm not a huge hockey fan, but my wife is. So I try to.
Now, Clint, did you ever go to the Glacier Cat games? I know I went to several of them.
No, I did not.
Okay, I went to a few of them. They were in Barton Coliseum.
Here's the thing. Could you have paid me to go to a Glacier Cat game? You probably could pay me enough to do it, but I would not have a good time.
Now, apparently, there's a position. There's the guy that in some hockey teams that is out there to start fights with the other team's best player.
Yeah. No.
And the Glacier Cats had a guy. I don't remember what his first name was, but his last name was St. Louis, and they called him Screwy St. Louis. And he would get called up to the pros every now and then just to fill that role. but
Ah,
he spent most of his time. He was almost like a Happy Gilmore type of guy. Like he was a real life
that's
Happy
crazy.
Gilmore because all he would do was just start fights. And so he wasn't that good at anything else, but he would like, I mean,
Wouldn't it be great if he wasn't good at winning fights either?
it's right. That's right.
Like he
He
Yeah,
just
just got
came
out there and
out
got beat
and
up.
just got his
Yeah.
butt kicked all the time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like I tell you what, he's not much of a hockey player or a fighter, but he can sure start one and take a punch.
That's right.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to win. He just trying to start
Yeah,
the fight,
yeah,
right?
look at-
And get them put in the penalty box too.
Penalty
There you
box.
go.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, try to get a power play. Look at me.
Yeah.
Hey, right
There you
there.
go. Yeah.
That's the sports knowledge you get right here. I just said a power play and icing, not just for cakes.
Hey, And everything I know about soccer,
cakes.
I learned from watching Welcome to Wrexham.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything.
Okay. All right. So Bart, last time you were on, okay, we talked about there were some things we wasn't seeing from the team. Okay. One of the things we talked about a lot was they wasn't driving to the basket, getting fouled. They wasn't hitting shots close to the basket. We talked about the ball movement wasn't really what we wanted to see.
Yep.
We talked about John L. Davis and was struggling. We wasn't seeing out of him what we were hoping to see out of him.
Mhm.
We talked about some things we saw that were possibly good. And then shortly after that, we had a pretty good week. I think we said last week, if we talked about a Razorback basketball team, and we said in 1 week you're going to beat Texas, you're
Yep.
going to beat Kentucky, and you're going to play Alabama really well. You would
Yep.
probably say that's an obvious NCAA tournament team, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But if you didn't know anything else about the rest of the season, so that was a good week, and then we come back, we beat LSU as we should have. Didn't play very good.
Yep. But we beat them.
Would you agree on that? We didn't play very good against
We struggled.
LSU.
Yep. Yep.
And once again struggled at home, which is not a good thing. And then here comes Texas A&M, or we go to Texas A&M. We saw a lot of negatives with Texas A&M. Do you think that's just because of Buzz's, just the way he prepares his team to play defense, or do you think it was some problems with our team too?
It's nothing with our team. I said this going in. Texas A&M, if you look at them on paper, guys, if you took the shooting percentage and threw it out, because they're basically, I think, dead last in field goal percentage in the SEC, and I think they're 15th in three-point shooting percentage, so they're close to the bottom. If you take that out and you look at everything else, bench points, offensive rebounds, they're a top 3 team in the league. They're physical, they're big, they're strong. That's a veteran team for whatever reason. Credit to Buzz Williams. Those guys don't transfer. He keeps a lot of his players there. So I expected it to be a really tough uphill battle. But in my opinion, now this is my opinion, it was more a Texas A&M did what they had to do to win the game versus Arkansas losing the game.
No, and I really think since you were on here last, I think every basketball game has gone as it should. Even the two, I mean, the 2 losses were what they were. You got probably a number 1 seed in the tournament Alabama team, and we played them tight, and I thought they played. I thought they played admirably against A&M. I think A&M was just the better basketball team.
Yep. Better basketball team and at home. And so, guys, this is what is hard to comprehend. If you look at the last losses, Alabama, you lose the game. You barely lose the game. We almost went 6 minutes and did not score a basket, 5 minutes and 42 seconds. How many teams, top tier teams, are you going to be able to go 6 minutes and a half, not score, and still stay in the game? You get Texas A&M and Alabama, the two common losses. Wagner and Davis are killing you. Everybody else is getting it done. 4 for 20 combined, Alabama, 1 for 9 from the 3-point line, something like that. They almost repeated that at Texas A&M, except they had 8 turnovers between the two of them.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between the two games. And I hate to put it on two people.
Yeah.
Everybody else is doing their job.
Yeah.
Okay. And make no mistake
Except
about it.
for Brazil.
Except for Brazil. But I've almost, Travis Glenn, I've almost, this sounds bad. I've counted him out of the equation.
Yeah.
Because he's so up and down and just his minutes and effort. And I've almost counted Adu out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Because he's so up and down.
Yeah.
But it's those two guys. And you're brought in, and I know Wagner is not a pure point guard by trade. He's more of an off guard. He's having to slide over and play a lot of the one. Man, they got to be able to hit open shots, guys. And Nelly Davis is brought in to be a shooter. He'll miss a corner three with a chance to cut the lead to 2. Like, you got to hit those shots. Like, that's what you're there for. So it's just unfortunate because I think everybody else is playing really well.
Yeah.
Now, Bart, got to ask you.
Yep.
Obviously, we took a turn after we had you on the podcast last time. What changed?
I say this, and this sounds oversimplified. Just think about this. You go LSU at LSU. That's a game we lose by 4, right? You have Boogie Flan that goes for 20. Adu has his best game of the year. He goes for a double-double, 13 and 11, something like that. You don't have both those guys, and then you come to Bud Walton, you don't play well, and you beat them by what, 15?
Yeah.
It's team chemistry. It matters. It's ball movement. It's flow. It's comfortability of players. The ball stuck in Boogie Flan's hands, and that's not a knock on him. He's a great player.
Yeah.
It's the chemistry's better, and I think the rotation getting tighter. I thought Cal was just playing guys to play guys, just get them minutes, and that's been taken out of his hands because the lineup is so thin. And then of course Big Z going off and kind of establishing what he is. That's probably a pro, a first round draft pick, probably not a top 15, but probably a top 20, 22 pick. So I think that's the big difference.
What do you think's been the difference for Big Z?
Minutes. When he was, I really felt like when I watched them play in Pine Bluff, they were trying to run a lot of stuff through him, a lot of high pick and roll stuff, a lot of DHOs because he's got great hands. I think his minutes were up and down. Then he gets hurt, and he played hurt for a little while. I think he's healthy, and then again, it's comfortability. When you got a rotation of 7, you walk in the game and you know you're going to play. So I think he's just relaxed and playing freed up, and credit to Arkansas, they're finding him. And listen, he's probably, even with Boogie Flan, he was probably our best, don't you think, guys, catch and shoot 3-point shooter. I mean, percentages, of course, says he is, but I think he's just healthy and kind of being what he is, really.
And I think a lot of it I've seen is just confidence.
It's all confidence.
He's playing, because a lot of times, there's a lot of guys, Bart, and you know this better than anybody. There's a lot of guys that you put them on a practice court or you put them in just like a pickup fun game.
And play great.
And I mean, and there's a lot of guys that play on a high level like D1 ball. I'll never forget back when Lee Wilson played for the Razorbacks, going to the pregame and watching them practice or warm up and seeing him knocking down 18-footers like nobody's business. I don't think Lee Wilson ever shot an 18-footer in his career as a college player. Now, maybe Nolan had something to do with that, okay? But I always wondered what would have happened if he would have played with confidence in that, because he could do it on the, like that. And I think Big Z is, and I think to Cal's, to his credit, he's building confidence in him. And I see a guy out there, he's having fun.
Yep.
And he's playing loose, and he's able to play how he would play if he was playing with his buddies on the court, in the neighborhood or whatever, or just, in the backyard
100%.
somewhere.
100%. So, Travis, so it's a great point because people call in and all the time on Drive Time and they're asking about Nelly Davis this. Nelly Davis didn't forget how to shoot a basketball in 6 months.
No.
It's confidence.
Yep.
The guy is shaking. He's fragile. Right, and I'm not saying fragile as a whole. I'm saying fragile right now with his shot. I don't think he believes
Yeah.
that he's a top-notch shooter, and it reflects in his game.
Yeah.
And listen, I think that's why they don't play well at Bud Walton. I think there's so much pressure on that team to perform
Yeah.
that they feel more confident on the road.
Yeah.
And it's really that simple. Basketball's a very confident-driven game. It's a lot mental, very mental.
So Bart, I'm just going to ask you point blank. You think Big Z is a collegiate basketball player next year, or do you think he's off to the NBA?
Ooh, man, if he continues to play at the level he's playing based on this overwhelming desire for European talent in the NBA, and make no mistake, we're in a total environment where NBA front office guys are looking for European talent. I'm hoping he comes back to Arkansas. It's a deep draft. I think that doesn't help him. I think a lot of it will depend on what he does at the end of the year, especially if they make the NCAA tournament. But right now, I'd say he's coming back in a collegiate uniform.
Okay, because I saw like a mock draft earlier, and it had 3 Razorbacks in it. Obviously, and this one actually had a Thero being drafted ahead of Boogie Fland.
That's who I worry about leaving.
Well, no, but here's the thing. I think Boogie's as good as gone. He's going to be. He'll be a lottery pick, just based off high school potential alone. I think.
Yeah.
But now here's where you get in that. I was talking to Travis about this, and I've said it on the podcast. You get in a weird when you're that second rounder, when you're going to be drafted probably around where Daniel Gafford and Jalen Williams were drafted.
Yep.
What are you going to make more money doing? NIL money?
That's right.
Or being second round draft pick and going bounce and forth between G League and
having to sing for your supper pretty much, really have to earn it, because if you're not a first rounder, you're not guaranteed that roster spot necessarily.
That's right. And there are some backdoor deals that go on in the second round, like Isaiah Joe, like Philly told them they were going to draft him and they were going to basically give him kind of in first round money, which they did. And so there's a little bit of that promise going on, but you're right. Outside of that, you're guaranteed nothing. And there's a lot more pressure. Now you can work towards your second contract, which if you perform, that obviously could mean big bucks. Then you're outside the NIL range. But these guys at Arkansas are making a ton of money, guys.
Which worked out for, like Clint's saying, for Jalen Williams and Gafford, it worked out for them.
Yep.
But there's a lot of guys like that, like to his point, that it doesn't work out for.
That's right.
That another year in college would have done them good. And when you put on the tape of that A&M game, especially when that dude dunked on Big Z, that was embarrassing.
Because they got some that's what I was saying about A&M. They're just that physical, but that's what the league is. I mean, obviously even more than that. No. Yeah. That's where you get exposed, right? So
and they exposed him on his defensive side big time.
Yep. Big time.
Now, because of that, in the post-game press conference, Cal talked about maybe a rotation change, which there's only so many changes you can make with 8 players.
Yep.
But he did talk about maybe playing Z and Adu together. What do you think about that?
So guys, he's wanting to go bigger. I want them to go smaller.
Yeah.
So I don't know why. And this is where a little bit of this old, I call it wives' tale about basketball. There's no correlation between size and victories. Okay. In fact, if you watch some of the teams like Vanderbilt's giving everybody heck, man, they're sub 6'8" everywhere.
Yeah.
I would love to see a lineup change, but I would love to see a Billy Richmond, Thero, Big Z, Wagner, and of course I'm gonna throw Nelly Davis in, but you could almost put Carter Knox there. I would love to see him go smaller and try to get up and down the court more. We're not a great shooting team, so how about let's get out and transition and run. Yeah. So I would say negative if they try to go bigger. I don't think that works. And Adu hasn't showed me that he can handle the minutes, but I would like to see a lineup change. I just like it to be smaller.
And I think he's thinking that more on the defensive end.
Yep.
Because what Big Z does well is help defense.
Yep.
He's not the guy that's going to muscle down. If you can muscle him down, you can push him down, and guys can get shots over him if they body him up. But
Yep.
if you give him some space and you let him come over and help, he'll block a shot. I mean, he's got great block
Yep.
numbers.
He does.
If you
He
look at the
does.
numbers, it's not, he's pretty good defensively.
Yep.
It's when you watch him get abused
Right.
because of how
Right.
thin he is,
Yep. Yep. But see, I think Billy Richmond and Knox, if you played those together and Big Z, I think that gives you your best defensive lineup. Because again, that's what Adu was at Tennessee. He has not shown us that at Arkansas consistently. But again, guys, I say this: basketball is about one thing. It's about an advantage in matchup. I would trade a layup that somebody could play bully ball and get a layup for Big Z because they got to come down and guard him on the other end and
Yeah,
extend outside the perimeter.
that's
So
right. Yeah,
that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I agree. Yeah.
He can bring somebody out in the perimeter and do big time damage.
Now I got to give you your flowers, Bart, because the first time you were on right before the basketball season, okay, as Cal was getting these players, you had just watched them in Pine Bluff
Yep.
at that red white scrimmage they did there and everything. And you mentioned Richmond and you said I really think this guy's going to help this team. And he's quickly becoming a guy that fans are really paying attention to.
Yep.
And he's been in this turnaround, he's been a catalyst. And I'll tell you who he reminds me of.
Okay.
He's different body type a little bit, okay, and a little bit different player, but somewhat similar because he's a spark of energy, very
Yep.
athletic. But from the championship team, Roger Crawford.
Okay. I like it.
You remember him? Came off the bench.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
was that
Yep.
energy guy, could play good defense,
Yep.
was going to get you a steal or two, get a fast break dunk every now and then, Of course, he got injured was it against Georgetown? He got injured, I
Yep.
think, or
Yep. Yep.
something. So he had to cut the, national championship. He had to cut it down
He-
with crutches or whatever.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
But that's who he kind of, like I said, Richmond has more of an NBA body, okay, and and he's got, he looks the part a little more than Crawford did, but kind of what he provides for this team
Yeah.
and it has provided right now, I think is a kind of a good fit there.
So
Well,
when
you-
oh,
Go
my
ahead,
bad.
Bart.
Well, I was going to say real quick, when I saw him, I called my cousin and I said, I've witnessed another version of Clint McDaniel because he reminded me very, very
Yep.
much of Clint McDaniel. And if you guys know anything about basketball, grassroots basketball, summer basketball, Memphis, Tennessee
Mm,
turns out the toughest, the baddest dudes on the block.
yeah.
And in 5 minutes, he had that Memphis dog in him, and I could see it.
Yeah.
And he has practiced like he has played
Hmm.
every single night out. And I'm glad to see him get his opportunity because he has been a huge reason why this team has turned around.
Yeah.
So would you say like that he would have the best like next year, like we're this point next year that he's going to have taken the biggest step forward?
Yes, absolutely. Because I think he's a guy that can score at multiple levels. What he's doing is not used to getting that playing time, so he has a tendency to foul really quickly because he wants his minutes to be impactful. But yeah, I think he takes the biggest step up, and if he gets a jump shot, guys, and he could start hitting 3-point shots, watch out because this guy's got NBA body. He can guard right now. You are what you can guard in basketball. He can guard 4 positions. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You could put him a point guard and you could almost, I won't give him a center, but you could put him against a power forward and that dude can defend all 4 positions.
And I think for next year too, Carter Knox.
Yes.
I think when you add those two to the 2 studs we got coming in, that's some salty guards right there, dude. That's
big time.
That's why in the age of the transfer portal NIL, I'm thankful to know that we have a large NIL pot at Arkansas.
Yeah.
Because you want to keep these guys and see, because I mean, you obviously see there's a foundation here that Cal can build off of. I think, last time it was all doom and gloom. Like we hired the wrong guy. We hired a washed Cal. Well, I mean, he started from nothing here. I mean,
Yeah.
look, he put together something pretty good talent wise, but it's a deep
Yep.
SEC.
It's a deep SEC, and it keeps getting deeper because the analytics say, hey, you might not even have to go. I mean, how many they talk about the tournament? 13 or 14? Like it's that deep. And I
Yeah.
think what's great about Cal's guys, Knox and Billy Richmond, because of the family heritage and ties to they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
If Wagner stays, he's not. I mean, if Wagner doesn't go, he's not going anywhere. Those guys are staying.
Yeah.
I promise you, they're staying. Wagner's dad basically had Coach Cal pushed him off to the NBA. He gets his first contract. He has a severe intestinal infection. The guy gets one contract, and he owes every bit of that to Coach Cal because he wanted to come back to college. You think he's letting his son transfer from Coach Cal? Those guys are staying.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be even better next year, I think.
Yeah. And Cal's had good luck at Kentucky with guys staying a little longer than some thought. He's had a lot of them leave, but he's had some that stayed around because of that. And so, I mean, just look at, the new the documentary on Vice came out. I don't know if you got to watch any of that. I've gotten to watch some of it. But they interviewed a lot of the players, they're following Cal around and
okay.
And I think they've just done like 2 episodes, but they've already got to the Kentucky game on the second one. But they asked those players that left Kentucky, and they said, "Look, Big Z said, when I heard Cal was leaving, I said, all right, where are we going?"
Right.
He said, I was going to follow my coach wherever he went. And
that's impressive. That type of loyalty in this environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, when there's not much loyalty. So
yeah, none.
All right. So Bart, let's just ask you this. In your expert opinion, do they make the tournament?
Yes. Yes, they make the tournament. I think so. Of course, if you steal a game at Auburn, which is coming up, which I think is the toughest team to beat, but maybe a beatable team for Arkansas because they don't get up and down and play really fast. Auburn just shoots the ball really well, but we're defending the 3-point shot. I think you need to beat Mizzou at home, and if you can get a game, obviously, if you win all the games at Bud Walton, you're in great shape, right? So you've got Texas. You need to win Texas. You win Mizzou, and I think you're in the tournament. You can't convince me this schedule, and you beat teams like Texas, Missouri, Kentucky. Like you have to be in the tournament.
Yeah,
you're playing Alabama close. They keep it close at Auburn, which I absolutely expect them to do.
Yeah,
and you've got to be in. There's no way you're keeping them out because the league's just that talented.
Do you think they match up better against Auburn than they did against A&M?
Yep.
I kind of think so too.
Yep, and it's scary to say that because Travis, we could regret saying that.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Because with the way they shoot the basketball, but
again, don't go to your Saracen app and put money on that right now.
Right. You heard it here.
Or Oakland.
Mark Reed and Travis Johnson guarantee your bets with Jack Saracen.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Farm on the Hogs.
You watch your mouth.
but they do. They match up.
That's
better.
what I was thinking. I think a team like and that's the way I felt with Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I think a guy that coaches like Beard and a guy that coaches like Buzz. I think because I think Pearl coaches kind of similar to Cal, doesn't he? I mean,
yeah,
in a lot
very
of ways.
Much so. Yep.
And I think that's the type of team we're going to do okay again. I mean, we'll do better against.
Yep.
I mean, at least be in the game. So. Like I said, I'm not saying we're going to win it. I just think we'll have a better showing than we did against. And hey, we were in the game against A&M. So I mean,
100%.
6 minutes left. We were in it. So,
and we had multiple opportunities to chip into that lead, and we just didn't hit shots. It's just
and here's the 2 big things. And Cal showed some anger.
Yeah,
he kicked the scorer table.
I like that. I've been waiting for that. Yeah.
He was ticked after the game. And But the two big things, man, those 17 turnovers,
Oh, it's a killer on the
including
road.
that ugly one where Wagner threw, who was he threw it to? Uh, and he was looking at Cal talking. The guy was looking at Cal talking. He just threw it and it bounced off of him. I mean, that was terrible.
Terrible.
And missed bunnies, missed
Yeah.
layups, man. I
Yep.
mean, some wide open ones. And John L. Davis is the chief
Oh,
perpetrator.
yep. He's killing. He's proved to be a better defensive player and rebounder than offensive player, and that's
And I wouldn't have thought that about 2, 3 weeks ago.
no. I
Because
mean, and that's
his
not what.
defense was struggling to me,
Yep.
but it has
Yep.
gotten better. It
Yep.
really has. In fact, last time you were on, that's one thing I complained about his closeouts and even just his defensive stance was
Yeah.
bad. And
Yep.
and it's gotten to me, it's gotten better over the last few weeks. And his play's gotten better thanks to that. So
Yep. Yep.
well, Bart, man, we appreciate you so much.
Thanks, guys.
You got
I
some
love
other
it.
things going. You need to go. So
Yep.
we're about to talk baseball now.
All right,
And so
guys.
we'll let you out of that. Thanks for talking a little hockey
Yeah.
with us.
Absolutely.
And folks, don't forget, if you got kids or know anybody that needs some training in basketball, Bart's on every social media, on Facebook, on Instagram. Are you on X too? You're
Yep.
on X
Yep.
too? Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So check him out on there. Pure Sweat
Yep.
basketball, and he's in Sheridan, but he call him up.
I go everywhere.
He can get you hooked up. And if nothing else, folks, look, with a guy like Bart, even if you get your kid just one training session, okay, I know eggs are expensive right now, okay, and I know money's not easy, but if you just pay for one training session, Bart's going to give your kid some stuff that
Yep.
he can go and practice in your driveway,
That's
that he
right.
can practice after his pee-wee practice or his middle school or high school practice or college practice. Some drills that he can work on that's going to help him the whole rest of his basketball career, however long that is. And hopefully it's a long time. So
Learn the right way. It's never
That's
too
right.
early to learn the
That's
right
right.
way. So, Travis, Clint, thanks,
all right.
but y'all are
Appreciate
great.
you, Bart. Have a good
Yep.
one, buddy.
Yep. See y'all.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
All right, Clint. So now we've got all the basketball knowledge. Just
Yeah,
man,
no, I
it's
feel good
flowing.
about it. You heard
Yeah.
it here.
That's right.
Bet the farm on the Hogs.
That's right.
Beat Auburn.
That's right,
Woo
baby.
pig.
Woo pig. That's the hog. That's the straight hog slop, baby.
That's the Hawg Slop. We're talking hockey, we're talking everything, but yeah, hey, how about them Cougs? Hey, by the way, can I tell you, as soon as we brought up that we played the Washington Cougars, Washington State Cougars.
Yeah.
By the way, there's an R in Washington.
Yeah, that's
the way it is. There's an R in it. It's in there.
Yeah,
It's
there
silent.
he is. That's right.
It's not silent when I say it, but
Yeah.
so we played the Cougs. I immediately thought about the great Mike Leach
Oh yeah.
and his famous where he talks about which mascot would win the fight. He's like, does the Trojan have a sword? Is he on a horse?
Did I ever tell you about my Did I ever tell you about my dream about Mike Leach
No.
on here?
Is this appropriate?
Yeah, it's appropriate. It's appropriate. Okay, it's a it was an Inception dream. You ever seen the movie Inception?
Yeah, I've seen Inception.
Okay, the dream within a dream. Okay. So here's what happened. I had a dream. I'm sitting at a bar.
Okay.
Okay, I don't think I was drinking alcohol. I don't drink alcohol, but you know, and your
Asperilla.
boys very rarely ever sit at a bar, to be honest with you, unless I was just waiting on my table at a restaurant or
Right,
something
yeah.
like that. So, but anyway, I'm at this bar. Okay, I'm watching too much TV, I guess. And Mike Leach comes walking up
Mhm.
and sits next to me, and I'm like, "This is Mike Leach.
The Mike
I
Leach.
get to talk football with Mike Leach." And so I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm a big fan." And I start talking football with him. And as I'm talking football, I'm thinking, this is a dream. But I don't care. I want to keep talking football with Mike Leach. So I'm going to stay asleep and keep talking football with Mike Leach. I remember thinking that. I don't remember what football we talked about, Clint, But I remember telling myself, I'm talking football with Mike Leach in my dream, and I'm gonna savor this. I'm gonna take it all in. So I'm gonna stay asleep. So I was communicating with myself within my dream. Isn't that weird?
That is weird. And also disturbing. So, Travis, we played
Yeah.
baseball this week.
We did
Yeah,
play baseball. Yeah.
we
Mike
played
Leach
baseball
had,
against the Washington State Cougars with an R.
that's
Uh,
right. Yeah.
so, uh, swept 4 game sweep. Now,
Now, the
what
first
were you?
game, Clint, was the Razorback baseball team did okay. We looked like a lot of it in that game looked like the team from last year. We had guys in scoring position. We couldn't get home. We made some mistakes. We tried to give the game away. It ended up going 10 innings, but the guys came through, bats came through. Now, the rest of the 3 games, we got to see what this lineup and what this team is capable of.
Yeah, Otis Kirk, who I follow on Facebook. I think is he with Hogville, Travis?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he is. I want to be sure I plug him right if I'm going to
Yeah.
say it. I'm pretty sure he's with Hogville.
Yeah.
But he says this is the best baseball team he's seen. Every year there's a rotation that gets labeled this is the best in the country, and most I think most of the talking heads feel like Arkansas has the best rotation in the country. But that being said, the SEC is absolutely stacked once again.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in the base, but you know what? When you can throw out Gackle and who's the number 2 guy?
Oh, his name's hard to say.
Yeah.
I would butcher it, to be honest with you.
Well, okay. So that guy,
Beidelschies.
yeah,
Pronounce that.
and then
Just
you
call
got
him Landon. Just call him Landon.
that landed.
He's an
And then you
Ohio
got
State transfer.
Gage Wood going 3, and then
Yeah.
the 4 guys apparently also. And then you've got Will McIntyre once again coming out of the bullpen.
But I'll tell you, Clint, did you see what Little Wiggins did?
I did see what Little Wiggins did.
His first 4 pitches were 100 miles an hour exactly as a closer. And here's the thing, we have like 3 closers right now. Now, one of those guys is going to be the cream rising to the top and probably be the main guy, which possibly could be Wiggins. But in the interviews after the game, when you hear these guys talking and they're saying, yeah, Wiggins shouldn't even be here right now. He should be in minor league baseball. Like, they all say that because one of the things they're saying about him, he's got that power arm, which like his brother had, but he's got movement on his fastball that his brother didn't have. And we know that's a key to be a good pitcher. Like there's lots of guys that can throw 100 miles an hour. Okay. We went to high school with one, Greg Montgomery, that could throw heat. But if you asked him why he didn't make it in Major League Baseball, because his was straight down the pipe. It had no movement on it. Mariano Rivera's, he threw heat, but his had movement on it. It moved around. Okay. And Wiggins has that. Now, offensively, one of the guys that showed out was Kahuo Aloy, the brother of Wahia, whatever, our
The
shortstop.
Lloyd brothers showed out. How about that?
Yeah. The new Aloy brother showed out. And then the other one was, I'm trying to find his name here. Who was it? Starts with an I. People are probably yelling it at me right now.
Here we are prepared on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I got it pulled up here somewhere. Anyway, he had 2 home runs. Aloy had 2 home runs. So, and what I'm saying with that is we got some guys with some pop Okay, we got we got some. That's something we didn't have much of last year. Uh, we were that's one thing we were missing. We didn't have you know we need somebody that's going to hit 15 home runs at least.
Yeah.
In the lineup, 15 to 20 home runs, and I
Well,
think I think we may have that. The new Aloy. Uh, he doesn't. He started out at BYU as a pitcher, but as they moved him to, he's going to be a DH on this team right now. But Van Horn's really talking about we need to get him like in the outfield. We need to get him in a position somewhere. They said he might play a little first base, might could play some right field. We'll see. One of the disappointing things is
yeah.
Diggs. I think he's still dealing with some pain issues from his surgery. So he's gonna probably be slow played. He didn't play the whole time. But that was the other thing about this weekend. In that first game, we had, I think, 3 guys that didn't bat so well. And so Van Horn just went in and put 3 more guys in the lineup, and they crushed it.
Well, this team has what it's lacked has been that guy, like the oh crap, it's that guy getting up to hit. They haven't had that since really Caden Wallace.
Yeah.
Because Caden was because everybody knew Caden Wallace was a big leaguer. He's a big league hitter. So hopefully we get that guy. And it sounds like we got a lot of those guys. And as long as Van Horn's there, baseball team's going to be in good hands.
Yeah. Justin Thomas, left fielder, batted 9th, and they really liked him because, I think Van Horn talked about how he's like another leadoff guy, that he's another guy that's going to get on base and do some things. Now, one thing they did do is we ran, we did a little more running on the bases. However, Washington State stopped us. They did a good job of stopping the run, stopping stolen bases. I think they threw us out a few times. So, but anyways, a good start. And then now they're going down to Texas, to Dallas area.
They will do every year as long as they have it.
And they're going to play Kansas State first, then TCU, who's ranked 22nd, and then Michigan. So that'll be a good test, playing some some teams that have some, usually that's all. That has been a good little tournament down
Hey,
there.
by the way, is this that thing? Is this one is going to be like on Flow Sports?
Yes.
And everybody, listen, just get in a whatever you're doing. Stop what you're doing. Go like Google like Hawg Sports something. Find you a Facebook page. Find it. Any of them will do. And then just watch people lose their mind over how terrible the experience is watching Flow Sports.
Yeah.
Guys, it's going to be terrible. I don't know what to tell you. You probably just want to read about this one because trying to watch the broadcast is going to be infuriating.
Yeah.
Maybe listen to the radio.
Yeah.
The broadcast is going to be absolutely terrible.
That's right.
And people are going to lose their mind on Facebook about it, and I'm here for it.
That's right. So, baseball team's looking good, Clint, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, the basketball team's looking up. Baseball team looks good.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's looking up. Let's hopefully we can stay up. And we got #1 Auburn tomorrow, the big series, and then baseball this weekend. It's going to be a lot to talk about in the Slop House next week.
That's right, for sure. And we do appreciate Bart coming on. That's always a good time. Clint, I think we talked about this a little bit last week, but you been watching anything good?
I finished Beast Games. You know what I started watching the Traders, season 3.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I can watch an episode of the Traders in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, I really can, because I don't care about their jibber jabber back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And so I will fast forward to the end of it, to the round table to see who they're all turning against. And I'm like, oh, let's see who wins, and then I'll see who they murder. But I want to tell you, I've been watching that Special Forces show
Yeah, I watched that.
on. Have you finished this last season? Because
Yeah.
it's been out long enough. I'm going to spoil the end.
Yeah.
So spoiler alert. So basically, Travis Kelsey's ex-girlfriend, I guess she's an influencer or something. I don't know what
Yeah.
she's other than she dated Travis Kelsey before.
Yeah.
Her and of all, because I was like, because you had Golden Tate, you had Cam Newton, and you're like, okay, that girl wins it, and who's the guy that wins it, finishes it? The only one to finish it, that'd be Brody Jenner.
Yeah.
Brody Jenner.
Yeah, but you got to remember,
his dad was a
huge
yeah
Olympic athlete, one of the
so,
best we've seen, ever.
yeah.
And so he got some of those genes, and it showed, man, because he did good
no,
on
he
there.
killed it. He killed it.
Now our girl from Arkansas, the gymnastics coach, she struggled,
Yeah.
more mentally, just from fear, because they have them do some scary stuff. And so
no, I wonder how real it is what they put them through.
Yeah.
Did you see the season before when like Des Bryant like snapped?
Yeah,
like threw his helmet like I quit.
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Like, not too late, you quit.
Yeah. I was surprised Cam Newton kept his cool so well.
Yeah.
I figured he would not take people yelling at his face like that very well.
Yeah.
But he really did. And of course, I mean, I'm sure you had coaches do that over the years, but you know what I mean. And now I got to tell you about something I've been watching I haven't talked about on here.
Okay.
The Pit.
Okay, yeah, on Max. I haven't
HBO Max.
Yeah.
I was a big ER fan back in the day. And of course, it stars Noah Wiley, who was on ER. But this one is not ER. I mean, it's different, and it's of course, it's more modern day. An ER in modern day, but it's ER in Pittsburgh. That's why it's called The Pit. And it got some really good characters, good writing. And so far, all the episodes have been the same shift. So, like, they haven't gone to a different day yet, even. Like, so far, that's been pretty interesting. Like, and they're only like 3 or 4 episodes in or something on it. But so far, like, they're still like, in the first episode, you see they have some new students come in, that are working there, and you got the old hats that have worked there or whatever, and then like you have these patients and you get some new patients in every episode, but you also have the patients that have been there and their stories continuing in each episode. So it's kind of a different way to do it.
Yeah.
And it's really neat. It's a really good show. So if you're into medical dramas, stuff like that, HBO Max, The Pit is excellent.
So
Excellent show.
Travissimo.
Yes, sir.
I take it you watched the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special.
I did. Love it.
Okay. Sketch of the night. I can tell you mine if it'll help you out.
Go ahead and tell me yours.
It was Black Jeopardy. Matter of fact, if I had to give an MVP of the night, it would be Eddie Murphy, because
his Tracy Morgan was good.
His Tracy Morgan, where he said, "I eat 4 cheese lasagna. If a lasagna's only got 3 cheeses, I ain't eating it."
That's right. That's right. It's got 4 cheeses. I ain't eating it. Yeah, that was a good one.
I died laughing. And then the Scared Straight skit with him and Keenan.
The Scared Straight one was really good too.
Yeah.
And of course, Will Ferrell messed up like crazy on it, but
it was
still funny. And
it
then
seemed like they gave all the skits more time because they all had celebrity. I mean, had names in them.
Yeah.
But so, Trav, what do you think?
Well, the Scared Straight one was up there for me, and the one with the alien abduction thing,
Yeah,
Well, that one is just
that's always
it's
good.
pretty off color in a lot of ways, but she's so funny in that, dude. I mean, just like it's you've seen it now. She's done it so many times. Like you're like Woody Harrelson's in this, and then I forget that other guy's name, but
Pedro Collins.
yeah, but he's great too. He's really good, and I'm excited to see them in it. But then all of a sudden she goes, they're telling their story about the alien abduction. She goes, well, let me tell you. And you start laughing already because what she's about to say is about to be the craziest thing you've ever heard in your life.
So, in the night before they had the concert.
Yeah.
So obviously, I've told you, like, I've watched Post Malone front in Nirvana, sorry.
Nirvana, yeah.
Post Malone fronting Nirvana no less than 10 times.
Yeah.
I've probably honestly watched it more than that. I mean, I'm like a kid watching Barney just
With
rewind.
Dave Grohl back on the drums.
Yeah, I mean, just unbelievable. So I'm going to ask you, Travis. So that entire night was a banger. So there are two just courageous performances. So which one takes more guts? Because look,
and I didn't watch that yet. I haven't watched that yet. I've just watched some clips. I've watched some clips from
So Post Malone getting up, fronting Nirvana, and he's singing the song. Yeah. Not any song. It is the song.
Yeah.
Because what if we did the 70s, what's going to be the number one song? You could do 100 different lists, have 100 different ones. Same thing with the 80s, the year 2000, the 2010s, the 2020s. In the 90s, every song, every list that begins with top song ends with Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana.
Yeah.
That is the song of the 90s, period, bar none. So you've got to sing the song. But out of that entire lineup of that concert.
Wait, before Humpty Dance?
Before Humpty Dance.
Okay. Just checking.
But then you do that. Or on a night where that performance happened, Cher played, all these other amazing artists, you close the night like Jack White.
What did I didn't see what he did. What did he do? I heard something version about
of if you'd have man, if you'd have hadn't asked me. But it was awesome. But he closed.
Yeah, he did a cover of something, didn't he?
Yeah. Neil Young, a Neil Young song. I can't remember. I'm brain farting so bad. And then he mixed it in with Seven Nation Army. I mean, he closed the night very well.
Keep on rocking the free world.
Keep on rocking in the free world. That's it.
I gotta look that up. I bet that was really good.
Yeah, that was. But I'm saying, which one took more guts, Travis?
Oh yeah.
To front Nirvana and sing "Smells Like Teen Spirit," or to close the night like Jack White?
Yeah, those are both two really good ones.
That's what I was telling my wife. I said, man, these two guys, you got to have. And you know what? I hate you, Post Malone. What's he not good at?
I know, yeah. Yeah. And the bad thing is, like, he's like one of the nicest guys ever.
Yeah.
So, like, even if you wanted to hate on him, you couldn't. Like, because he's so nice. Like, he's just like, there's stories about him, like I heard a story about him, like he lives in Wyoming part-time or something.
Okay.
And then, like, he went to a Pizza Hut and they wasn't open yet. And he was like, the guy was like, yeah, we'll make you pizza, Post Malone. And he gave the guy like an extra $1,200 or something, for opening early to make him pizza. I mean, just stuff like that all the time. Yeah. And so yeah. Now I'll tell you a couple things music wise. Did you see Fire Aid?
I did not know.
Okay. They did Nirvana played that.
Oh, I did see that.
Except they had a couple different people, like Joan Jett came out and sang a song with them, and Dave Grohl's daughter fronted them for one song. And she did a really good job. I forget what song she did. And then also on the 50th anniversary, I loved. Now I don't really know anything she sings, but that Paul Simon opened up with Katrina
Sabrina
Carpenter,
Carpenter.
Sabrina Carpenter, whatever his name is, and they did. I forget the name of the song, but I just loved it because that's the song when. No, I'm sorry. My bad. Paul McCartney, when he was performing, he performed the song that when Chris Farley was doing the Chris Farley show and he was interviewing Paul McCartney,
Oh, I
he
didn't catch.
goes, "Hey, in that one song, you say the love you make is equal to the love you take, or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that true?" And Paul McCartney goes, "Yeah, in my life, I've found that to be true." Remember that? He sang that song. And so I was like, man, if Farley was there, he would be rocking out to that. So
Yeah. And
anyway.
Sandler did a great job with his 50
Oh,
years
yeah.
of. I mean, he
He
did.
always knocks it out of the park with that.
No, and I thought, you know what? I thought really for two nights, I mean, they knocked it out of the park both nights. You got to give it to
for sure.
Lauren and the gang, and you know, you got to thank them for all the years of entertainment they had.
Oh, yeah.
So, Travis, I'm going to ask you once and for all, which cast is the best, in your opinion?
Oh, the one we had when we were in high school.
Yep. I mean, a lot of people
That's
say
what everybody's going to say.
It is the Sandler Farley years.
Yep.
The Sandler Farley.
Sandler, Farley, Spade, all those guys.
Chris
Phil Hartman,
Rock, all those guys. Yeah.
Chris Rock, all that.
With Travis, another one in the can. How many does this make now?
It's 189. Getting close to that 200.
Hey, we'll keep running our mouths if you keep listening.
That's right.
Thank you. And guys, do yourself a favor. In this life, find you a friend as good as Travis Johnson. Thank you for the send-off. I didn't ask for it, but you made it happen. Got all the friends together to take me to dinner the other night.
Yeah,
he didn't pick up my check, so he's not that great of a friend. But
I should have. I should have.
I'm giving.
I thought about that when I left. I should have.
I'm busting your chops. I wouldn't want you to do it. You're an amazing friend, and thank you for. Let's say we met in sixth grade, so I would have been
Clark's
about 11.
class.
So about 37 years of friendship. Thank you, my friend.
Man, look at us. We don't look that old, do we?
Yeah, and we've only missed one podcast because we were spatting with each other.
That's right.
That's amazing.
Look at us.
That's a shooting, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. Well, folks, like, share, comment, subscribe, all those good things. Let us know what you think, what you like, what you didn't like. Tell us, do you agree with, is this basketball team going to make the tournament? Or do you think they won't? We'll see. Clint, dude.
Bye, everybody.
Keep on rocking in the free world, baby.
I'll join you next week for 190.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard drive so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Oh, I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Sun beating down so hard, I can barely breathe. Hard to sing the joyful song. The words got me on